What is up, everybody, NC?
JC and
We have a Triple H is a bad booker on Randy Orton. Now, this is a long time coming because Randy Orton, he's been criminally misused ever since Triple H took over as the COO. And I think the biggest slap in the face to him is what they plan on doing with him for WrestleMania. KO versus Randy Orton. So not only is this typical Triple H friendship and betrayal bullshit booking, but then on top of that, you're wasting one of your biggest household names on KO. And you know what the sad thing about that is? KO's probably going to go over. That's the sad thing about all of that. And they're probably going to have some war of attrition that goes on 30 minutes with KO sneaking out a roll-up or some shit like that. You can already see where it's going to go, and I can't stand Triple H for what he's going to do to Randy Orton. I can't stand it for even the fact that he's booking him against KO. A guy like Randy Orton deserves to be booked in the world title scene right now. There's no fucking reason in my mind that we shouldn't be looking at Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Or at the very least, Randy Orton versus Gunther. Like, that would be a much bigger match than Gunther versus Jey Uso, which we've seen like a million times. Like, if Randy Orton had won the Royal Rumble, that would have gotten a lot more people talking. That would have had more interest, and honestly, it would have been a more interesting WrestleMania match between him and Gunther than Jey. Like we've seen it a million times. They should have went with Randy Orton, but this is Triple H booking. You really can't hope for anything good. So. Yeah.
He knows how to fuck up everything, and he'll fuck up everything, and The Rock will get the blame. Brian Gewirtz will get the blame. Bruce Pritchard will get the blame, and you'd be surprised, but even Vince McMahon still gets the blame. Or the mysterious WWE creative gets the blame. Never Triple H for misusing a man in Randy Orton, who, in my opinion, you can look at guys like John Cena, The Rock. Yes, they're big names, but they are very, very, they're not just part-time, they're limited time, okay? And then you look at a guy like Randy Orton, he's on the road full-time. He's the last major household name that you have on either roster. Because look at what he did to Roman Reigns, already used and abused him. But here you have a guy like Randy Orton that even casual who tuned out fucking 20 years ago, tunes back in, they're like, oh shit, that's Randy Orton. Man, he's jacked, dude. What does he weigh, like 300 pounds? You know, that's the thing too, is Randy doesn't look like shit. He looks like a monster, and I hate to see it. Ever since he got his ass beat by Brock Lesnar, that dude has been putting on muscle. He's become a fucking monster. I don't know what I think he's actually doing it naturally, probably with a little bit of test supplements or something, but this dude is eating a lot. He's eating big boy style, and in my opinion, when a guy is that jacked, when he's that charismatic, especially when he wants to be, when he's that big of a name, you don't sit on him. And this is coming from a guy that teamed with Triple H. They're buddies. How do you do that to your buddy? A guy who decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to come back from this career-ending back injury. I could have retired. Doc's told me I should have retired. But I'm going to come back for you. And I'm going to work full-time for you. And what does he do? He makes him a 50-50 booked mid-carder. What are your biggest names of 50-50 booked mid-carder? This is insane.
It is insane, and Triple H is looking at it like, well, at least he's at WrestleMania. That's the president of itself. No, it's not. When you're going up against Kevin Owens, it's not a fucking prize. Randy Orton should be at WrestleMania, absolutely, but Randy Orton should be in a match that matters, not a fucking who gives a shit feud with him and Kevin Owens. Who cares?
Really, the only matches that would be acceptable if we were booking would be him versus Cena, him versus Cody, or him versus Gunther, and that's it. I mean, other than that, they're really, like... And that's another thing, too, is, like, Cena, yeah, I understand you had to go for option B and you had to pull him for the Cody feud. That's another option. You could have gone with Cody Cena just because, or what is it, Cena Randy, just because of the feud history there.
Yeah. Well, and they could still do that too, and that may be in the cards, like, heel Cena beats Cody at WrestleMania, and then you got like Randy Orton, as the babyface, longtime rival of Cena going up against him at like SummerSlam. I could see that happening, and quite frankly, I'd like that. But at the same time, like, you gotta have something better. Like this to me feels like just the just like something that's going to eat up time between now and SummerSlam. Like, it's a way to feature Randy Orton, but not in a way that matters too much, and not in a way that will really, defray him from going up against John Cena at SummerSlam. Like, I get that, but at the same time, this is Randy Orton we're talking about. At least have him in some feud for a title. Like, what about the Intercontinental title? Like, I don't know where that is or who has that, but what about that? Or the U.S. title?
Not even that, but that's the thing, though, is that he can't even book him as, like, a top guy to hold the IC or the US. Not even that for him. Randy's just there. And that's fucking sad. Like we said before, came back from a career-ending back injury. And he's better than ever. He's ready to go. Stop fucking wasting him. Look at what they've done, really, ever since he's come back. Just a shitty friendship and feud with KO that has gone nowhere. What do you do with this? And now he's, what is he,
Nothing.
feuding with Carmelo Hayes or some shit?
Like, honestly, it would have made a lot more sense had he, like, interfere in the John Cena Cody match at Mania and, like, side with Cody and, like, take out Cena at the on the outside. Cena's able to, get back in the ring with help from The Rock and maybe a few others. Like, I think that would have been better because at least that way it kind of sets up the feud for SummerSlam between him and John Cena and Randy Orton. Like, they got to do something like that. But they're not doing anything. They're just putting him in some random who gives a shit feud with him and Kevin Owens. That's not how you do this. Like, if you want to have Randy Orton at WrestleMania, does he need to be in a match? Even with all that, everything I've said, no, he does not need to be in a match. But what he does need to be in is something that matters.
Right, and that's the thing, too, is that he's going to be wasted away in the mid-card of night 1 or night 2. And, like, of no purpose. Probably will do the job, which is the saddest thing. And probably will involve Sami Zayn, if we're lucky. Sami and KO will reunite again. Because Sami turns on Randy Orton and joins back up with KO for no fucking reason. You can already see where his illogical shit booking is going. And for a guy like Randy Orton, he deserves so much more. Like, for a guy like Randy Orton, if he's not feuding for a top title, he should be feuding with a top guy. Or I'd love to see him, you know what? You were one of the best dudes out of Evolution. Start a new Evolution. Bring in top guys like Cross, maybe a dude from NXT. Let's get a new Evolution going. Evolution 2.0. Something that the fans can be excited about. And that's the thing about Randy is they're wasting a guy that could be exciting. And we've said this about Randy the longest time, is he's Captain Mail It In. If you don't challenge him, he's going to mail it the fuck in. And it's almost like a part of him likes mailing it in. Like, we'll show you on the news. The guy was playing 600 hours of Elden Ring when he was out on an injury. He definitely likes getting into lazy mode, but when he taps in, he can be your guy. And it's just sad, too, because if Brock Lesnar was still there, he would probably be booked even worse than Randy Orton.
Oof. Oh my!
That's
Can you imagine the dog shit that they would have for Brock? Oh my God!
Him jobbing to Johnny Gargano.
Oh, like honestly, I'm kind of glad that he's not back because just considering who's booking things and how he would be booked, I'm good. I don't need to see Brock Lesnar getting jobbed out to fucking Johnny Gargano or Tommaso Ciampa or Alex Shelley. Like fuck that shit. Nah, if you're gonna job him out, don't bring him back. Leave him where he is. Yeah.
So Eric Graham was saying it's sad how Triple H is booking Orton, the football player, and Barcelona SD came for him and dipped after his match. Orton is their last old school stars. That's very interesting. I did not know that. But that shows you right there, worldwide, Randy Orton is a worldwide draw. Not just here in the States. No, worldwide, Randy Orton is a known household name, and people come to see him. People know who RKO is.
How many people do the fucking RKO out of nowhere? I mean, like that meme became fucking huge.
Yep. Huge. Why would you not expand on something like that? One of your guys goes viral.
I know.
Make him into a superstar.
I know. Like, why wouldn't you take advantage of that? It's because like I genuinely believe, and we've seen that Triple H does not want anybody to be bigger than the company. Well, that's great and all until CM Punk has to retire, can't go anymore. Brock Lesnar is not there. Undertaker's completely retired now. The Rock can't be there often. John Cena has to go back to Hollywood and he gets too old for the ring. Like, it gets to a point where you have to start making new stars or you're going to suffer.
Absolutely. And this is just proof. He's worldwide. Doesn't matter where he goes, people are singing voices in his head. Because it's that big of a song. And that's the great thing, too, is he kept his song. He didn't get no shitty Def Rebel remake. He kept the original because he knew it was iconic. This is smart. Junior was saying something I disagree with. Too many talents from 2000s. Orton, Cena, Rollins, Owen, Sammy, Punk, Styles need to retire already. They would if there were stars to rely upon. Unfortunately, Triple H doesn't know how to build stars, so he has to keep on going back to the well and hiring people to be used as mid-carders like everybody you just listed. Now, granted, there's people like Orton, Cena, styles in the right program that can be used as main carders, as main eventers, but the rest can be fired. I agree with. I partially agree with you there.
Well, no, I totally see where he's coming from. But like, what we're saying is that like, if you have stars like Randy Orton and John Cena, especially with WrestleMania coming up and SummerSlam, use them.
Right.
Get everything you can out of them. You know, and then use them to set up the new stars. Like a Braun Breaker, like a Tiffany Stratton, like build the future. Like they have people that they could be building up right now, and they're just not doing it. Like they could be building up Karrion Kross. You know, we've given ideas of how to book this guy. Give him fucking that song Puritania by Dimmu Borgir, shave his head, have him be the fucking like reckless psychopath, like loose cannon Brian Pillman, 2.0 kind of gimmick that he was kind of going with on the indies. Have him go with that. Have him be Killer Cross. Like there's ways to take the people that are on that roster and repackage them to get them over. Right now, everybody on that roster, in my opinion, is just watered down and bland, which is Triple H's booking, watered down and bland.
It's all on him, man. Absolutely. Darth was saying, well, Brock jobbed twice to Cody Rhodes and did nothing for Cody but hurt Brock. It's like Triple H is allergic to logical booking. What he does is he doesn't put over people he dislikes, and that's one thing that he really tried to do ever since he stepped into Vince McMahon's spot, is he tried to bury anything that was made by Vince McMahon or put on a pedestal by Vince McMahon. That's why you saw Brock Lesnar get immediately trashed, Austin Theory get immediately trashed. Anybody who was a favored Vince talent immediately trashed or eventually fired. So yeah, it didn't surprise me that he did that with Cody. He did that as a way to, one, stick it to AEW and show, hey, look what I did with your mid-carder. I made him into this top star. And two, to devalue Brock Lesnar and pretty much force him to never want to return back to WWE. So it probably worked in Triple H's favor in that aspect.
Well, and I don't blame Brock for not wanting to come back. I mean, Brock has millions of dollars. You know, he's got enough money to where he could probably just retire right now and live comfortably. Because I don't see, Brock, buying a lot of like luxury, clothing and like luxury cars. I mean, maybe he does, but that does not seem like Brock Lesnar to me. But yeah, so I think Brock has made enough money to fucking retire on if he had to. I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, it did not help Brock. And I think Triple H was looking at it like, okay, Brock's probably not going to be back. I can't really rely on him. So damn, just fucking job him out. What does it matter? Cody Rhodes, we need to build this guy up. And I think it hurt. I think it hurt not only Brock, but I think it also hurt Cody Rhodes a little bit. It didn't help.
Well, no, because he doesn't know what to do. And that's the whole thing why Cody lost his momentum, because he didn't know how to expand upon it in the first place. And that's where it relies upon.
Well, so like with Cody, like his momentum was lost because it was all built around, chasing, his father's dream. Well, after you do that, then what?
Nothing else to chase. Nothing else to chase.
Exactly.
So, what did RKO do to piss off Triple H? Wasn't he a Triple H pick for Evolution? What the fuck went wrong? Well, a lot of it has to do with him putting over talents that he made. Yes, he was technically friends with Randy Orton back in the day, and yes, he was a pick for Evolution, but at the same time, this is about Triple H's children that he made in NXT Black and Gold, becoming WWE superstars to prove that he can make top-level talent, that it wasn't just a Jim Ross, Jim Cornette thing. No, he makes true champions. And you can tell with all their fucking fake paper championship reigns. He makes true champions. That's what this big-nosed egotistical dipshit is going for. It's not about putting over his friends or anybody who can actually draw. It's about putting over his shit to say that he made it, which is sad.
It really is. Like, for me personally, I don't think he's trying to job out Randy Orton because, like, he's given him a match at WrestleMania.
Right.
What I think he's doing is he's using his good old buddy, old pal, Randy Orton, to, give the rub to, his kid, Kevin Owens. Like, I think when they say Papa H, I think they genuinely look up to Triple H as a father figure. So, like, I think what's going on here is like he's giving Randy Orton a WrestleMania spot and then using him to get over, Kevin Owens, which is not going to work because Kevin Owens is boring as fuck.
He absolutely is. I like that idea, Pod. I think that's really good. I would love to. That's a great way to immediately put over Cross as like the best heel on the roster. The type of heel heat he would get online would be insane, especially if he made it nice and bloody. So, yeah, I'm completely for that beatdown and eventual firing of Triple H if we can have our way, man. Because we're done with it, man. It is. It's a mix of that and jealousy. He's jealous of what Randy could be. He's jealous of what Randy Orton is capable of. That's absolutely true. He was booked for weaker as a face than as a heel. Because the Viper, Randy Orton, The Legend Killer Randy Orton, those are iconic. Those are what people remember. They don't remember babyface Randy Orton. No. You know, they're always going to remember the heel version. So yeah, absolutely right about that. It's just, it's so sad. It's so sad that he has done this not only to Randy Orton, but virtually every person who could have been a marketable household name, whether it be Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and really, honestly, Gewurz is the only thing kind of saving John Cena's booking right now. Otherwise, he would have been shit under Triple H. His last year in wrestling would have been a fucking embarrassment in mid-card boredom. Look at what he does to virtually every single legend that decides to work with him. That's why Undertaker hasn't decided to step back in the ring. He already knows what's going to happen. Stone Cold hasn't stepped back in the ring. He already knows what's going to happen. You make appearances, you make your quick buck, and you get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, with them, I just think they're just too old. I think, with Cena Cena will be retired after this year. I genuinely believe that. I think that's why they're going to have him, beat Cody at Mania. But no, I think that this is the problem. Like, this is where you run into the issue of not having those old stars to rely upon anymore. You gotta make the new ones. Like, relying on 40-something-year-old Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn. A lot of the NXT Black and Gold, I don't think there's any NXT Black and Gold talent under the age of 35.
They're all old as shit. No, they're all old.
Yeah.
Bullseye said H is one of the dudes whose talent certainly isn't writing. When H began his project with Cody, I went over this a year ago, he failed to make Cody a draw. Well, he relied too much on the chase of a prop and putting that prop on a pedestal. And that's the whole thing, is that Vince has shown that the world title was never about the world title. It was about the program going into the world title and who was feuding. It was about the story that goes with the title, never directly the prop itself. And that's the big thing about Triple H. He's really big on props, really big on titles, really big on these false accomplishments that mean nothing. That's just really what all these title reigns for all his fake NXT Black and Gold darlings mean, is they're meaningless over time. None of these reigns truly matter because they're not generational. They had no story behind them. It was just good match and nothing more.
Well, I mean, just even this week, I'm going to be a little bit candid with all y'all. I had a really hard time coming up with an idea for the TWR news pick. Because usually what I'll do is I'll take the most important thing that happened that week and I'll make that the basis for the pick. There was nothing. Thank God CM Punk got into a fucking Instagram war with Dominic.
Yeah, I mean, he's currently going through yet another midlife crisis right now, so that definitely gives us fuel. And that's the one thing about Punk. I know we talk a lot of shit about him, but in a way, we're kind of grateful for him because even when he's walking on eggshells, he still says stupid shit. So he's the gift that keeps on giving. What can I say? Even in the dullest of weeks, at least we have Punk making a jackass out of himself. So there is that.
True.
But yeah, it's so sad too that even with Randy Orton, he's been shipped down to NXT to do stupid angles. He's had to be part of stupid tag teams. A guy like this should have been treated like your golden egg, especially when you consider the fact that he was one of Triple H's boys at one time. That's what the real big trip about all of this is that one of Triple H's best friends at one time, a guy who he saw talent in more than anybody, is this. Mid-card Randy Orton that just shows up to get a paycheck, do a couple scenes on TV, and that's it. That's all we get.
I know. It's a shame. It really is that we're stuck with Triple H booking things because the talent roster that he built loves him, and they're going to throw a temper tantrum and whine and bitch and cry and moan about if he ever had to leave. Quite frankly, every single fucking one of those talents that would whine, bitch, moan, and complain, let him walk. Send him to TNA. Send him over to AEW for all I care. Get them out of WWE. None of them are they're all replaceable.
Absolutely. Especially the Black and Gold darlings. Especially those fuckers. Yeah. Jimingi 420p Siup said, hey guys, it's me, Schizo, different name. Anyways, to me personally, I would have Orton versus Cena and a Cena retirement like a final match. That's why I recommend it as well as an option, just because if you don't want to tie him up in a title, give him a title, at least give him one big match to go out with. I think this is Cena's great way of going out. Give him a match against Randy Orton. Like we said before, Randy Orton looks great. He's in great shape. They could have a hell of a promo battle that people would actually care about. And you put that shit on a billboard, people would be like, okay, I might check out WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. It's Triple H booking. What can I tell you? But with Cena going heel and beating Cody, he better beat Cody. That better be in the fucking cards. Can you imagine they do the heel turn only for Cody to win at Mania? That would be that honestly, even the Triple H defenders would shit all over him. Like, there is like a predetermined outcome in the minds of every wrestling fan, and that is Cody loses to heel Cena at WrestleMania. And I think and I think it would make a lot of fans happy. I think that you would have like the fucking brain dead marks going, duh, boo, I hate this. Babyface should have gone over. But like most of the IWC is going to be like, good shit. This is good shit. This needed to happen. It freshens up the scene. And honestly, it needs to be freshened up. Cody Rhodes is stale. He's boring. The ratings indicate that for SmackDown. And yeah, it's a shame that WWE has been tied down to that fucking lead balloon known as Cody Rhodes. So yeah, it's a shame that we're here. We can blame Triple H for all this shit because, he's the one who forced, like, remember back at last year's Royal Rumble, he forced Cody Rhodes to that main event, had him point at Roman Reigns. Never happened before. So he set the wheel in motion that the fans would only ever want Cody Rhodes to win at Mania. So they would fucking whine, bitch, moan, and complain, do their fucking Daniel Bryan, Mania, let's hijack the show shit. And then you got what you got. So Triple H is to blame for all this shit.
Absolutely. Brandon was saying, well, Triple H won his first title when he wasn't even over, so that explains why he thinks big on all these championship wins when they don't mean nothing. He's a mark. He's a belt mark. It's as simple as that. It comes from his NWA days. He's in love with that shit. Darth was saying, true, but H's greatest failure is evolving his talent, mainly Cody. Pushing the guy, but he remains the same since AEW. Well, and that's one thing that Triple H has never been known for, is actually creating characters. He does not do that. He simply takes the same guy that they were from the Indies or from whatever company they came from, TNA, AEW, whatever, and slightly twist it. Like, with Cody, he did jack shit. Like, let's say with Eric Young, slightly twisted the gimmick. Barely did anything. But that's what he does, is he takes these talents from other companies, barely twists the gimmick or name, or basically just copies and rips it off and gives you the same character that they were over there. He does not know how to create. And that's been evident ever since his NXT run. I mean, the guy just does not create characters. He rips off.
Yeah, no, that's all he does. Because he's not creative. Right. He's a guy that is not creative who's running WWE's creative. Like, he's the ultimate say-so. Now, I get the logic in that, like, he's an experienced wrestler. He knows how to book things. He knows how certain things should be in wrestling. I get that. But at the same time, you have a lot of fans out there that could book better than him. There's a lot of people just on YouTube that could literally be pulled by random. I'm not just saying anyone in particular, but like anyone by random, they could book a more interesting WrestleMania card than what he's booked. Like, this card is so fucking bland and boring. Like, I honestly can't believe that even he found a way to make it this. But like, the only match worth caring about is the Cody versus Cena match, and that's because Cena turned heel.
That's it. That really is all we have to look forward to, and that was all Brian Gewirtz, too. So, McLevin said, I really hope Brian Gewirtz sticks around and takes Triple H's spot. Triple H can be a producer or a Pat Patterson role, but not creative. That's how I feel, too, McLevin. I mean, maybe he has a talent for producing. Maybe he would be decent in the Pat Patterson role, but nothing more than that. Keep him away from creative. Keep him away from talent acquisition. Keep him away from all that shit. Just have him produce camera angles. That's it. That's all I want him doing. Well, technically at one time he was. Yeah, but this is all in character, Brandon. You have to understand. He didn't personally kick them out. There was no like real shit between them. He liked the guy. So
yeah, no, they were workout buddies. They were cool with one another for quite a bit. But yeah, no, I just think that right now this is him trying to find a spot for his good old buddy, old pal, Randy Orton, while also trying to put over his NXT Black and Gold darling Kevin Owens. So I just think that's what this is, and it's just really just to buy time until SummerSlam. That's just how it feels to me. But who knows?
Yeah, could be. So what was it? Milos Pavlovic was saying, impression, the NXT women go on a massive rant about Valkyria winning the women's takes all match. Gigi, Tatum, and JC all complained to me about them being sent to TNA to job. I'm so fucking tired of this shit, guys. Every fucking time they send me over to job where that fucking big titty whore Cora gets to win the Knockout Championship. What the fuck?
It's not fair. What about our puss?
It's such fucking bullshit, Milos. What are we gonna do? Well, I don't want you to get arrested, but what you could do is, go launch flaming bags of shit over onto the WWE headquarters and PC Center. You know what? I think it's a great idea. Let's go buy manure and gasoline and set it on fire and throw it at the fucking building.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's shit in bags and throw it at the building. Woo!
Woo! So Alejandro was saying, after Cena and Roman leave, who will they have left? Future's looking really bleak. We're going to be seeing more DIY and Sami Zayn KO nonsense. Oh yeah, Oh, yeah, trust me. Trust me. Once they lose every single draw that they have, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be just this landscape of 50-50 book, black and gold darling mid-carders that don't go anywhere. Candice LeRae will still have a job 5 years from now if Triple H is still in power. That's what's so fucking sad about all this shit.
How old is this bitch? Like,
I'm
genuinely curious.
If you ask us, 259, but looking like a spry 130.
Spry 130. She's 39 years old. Holy crap! Let's see Johnny Gargano.
So we can't call her Grandma LeRae then, technically.
Johnny's 37.
Wow. He had to find an older woman. What can I say? He's attracted to the older women.
I mean, if you find one that really works for you, great and all. But honestly, 39 and 37, that ain't the future.
No,
that is
not at all.
You cannot rely. Like in 10 years from now, they're gonna be 47 and 49. That is not that you can't keep putting your fucking eggs in that basket.
Bad
you
idea.
Gotta build the future.
Bad idea. Alejandro was saying after Rock, Cena, and Roman leave, who will they have left? Future's looking really bleak. We're gonna be seeing more DIY and Sami Zayn KO nonsense. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's really sad. God, what else do we have? Oh, Darth Bull Z saying, I wish H would just hire me. Let me at least write your characters' promos. They suck. Come on. If it's that hard, let me at least write the promos, damn it. Well, that's the thing, is that technically we've even said before, Triple H can have Grok write his promos. He can have ChatGPT write his promos, but he saw how good they did, and it angered him, and he broke his computer. So, that's what happens with Triple H. Yeah, he can hire more talented people. He can even hire talented AI to write his programs. But it's all an ego trip. That's why people like Tony don't do it. That's why Tommy doesn't do it. That's why Triple H doesn't do it. Because they want that ego stroke of, I made this is mine. I don't want some computer making my shit for me. Which is sad because AI comes up with great shit.
They do, well, and it makes it a lot easier too when it comes to booking. Like it'll give you recommendations. Like you get like it'll give you a recommendation. You go, kind of like that, but I don't kind of like that. And you could refine it.
Yeah,
but no, he doesn't want to do it. It's all ego. It's like this is the way they booked in the past. This is the way I'm going to book now. Well, it's hurting the company. It's hurting the creative, and the fans are paying for it. Not you, Triple H, but we are.
Which is sad, too, because you would think that TKO would be looking at these drastically dropping ratings and being like, you know what? Maybe this Triple H experience isn't such a good thing. Maybe we should just keep him as a producer and just put this Brian Gewirtz and Shawn Michaels dudes, maybe we should just put them into creative and see how they run it. I look at it this way. At this point, if you're willing to take CM Punk off TV and put him over in NXT as the GM or the booker or whatever, I'm fine with that. Bring up Shawn Michaels, have him run the main roster. We would be without CM Punk on the main roster, which would be awesome. CM Punk would push a lot of hot chicks, so that's a good thing. I'm all for it. I don't think he could be that much worse than Shawn Michaels, honestly.
I don't think he could either. I think that he would still, because the one thing I'll say about CM Punk is he knows wrestling. He's knowledgeable about it. He could teach him how to do good promos. He could teach him how to work safe in the ring, kind of like, because I don't remember CM Punk being reckless or really injuring anybody. No. Yeah,
he's a safe dude. He just hurts himself. He's Fragile Phil.
Yeah, good point.
So, Aerith was saying, crazy how you guys talk about how the women degraded in looks. As a straight woman, it's crazy how wrestling doesn't have an attractive men like Orton. A lot of it has to do with standards. The standards have dropped down so dramatically to the point where you have these nerds jacking off to people like Isla Dragunov online, to people like Tyler Bate. Those are sex icons nowadays.
Well, it's just amazing to me because I think that we went through an era of Vince McMahon wanted wrestlers to look like superstars. You had to be these jacked physiques, wanted the women to look very attractive, to look like superstars. So that when you see them walking through an airport, they're immediately going to catch your attention. I almost feel like this is there was a reaction 2014, 2015 around that time, against that, in favor of the indie, I don't really care what you look like. I just care can you wrestle good? And so right. I think that we're still in that era with a lot of those, you don't have to look like a star, but you can wrestle good talents. And they're in WWE now, and Triple H is booking them and sees them as his children. So I just think that's kind of where things are, where they are, and why things are the way they are right now. But I definitely do. I look at NXT. I look at who's coming up right now, and I will say that they have gotten back to, in some way, back to the superstar look. I'm not saying you look at the women in NXT, by far and away, more attractive,
the best
overall. than any other wrestling company. More attractive than AEW's, like overall. More attractive than TNA, definitely. NWA, like you go down the list. So it's like that's gonna be like NXT is the future of WWE. It really is, because that's where the future of their talent roster is going to be coming from. You see it with Roxanne Perez. Like we shit on Roxanne Perez.
Bro, we got to cut at 6, like, because we got to have 0 at 6:30. So High Pot was saying impression. Ahmed Johnson is haunted by New Jack's ghost. Ooh, motherfucker! Ooh, motherfucker! Hey, motherfucker! Ooh, shit! Let me go to New Jack, motherfucker! Wake the fuck up!
New Jack! I thought you dead! I thought you dead!
I am dead, motherfucker, but I came back from the dead to tell you, you better stop that pimping. That pimping ain't good for your soul, brother. You're gonna rot in hell, brother. You're gonna rot in hell for pimping them young women, for making them use them as toilet paper. Bro, you're going to hell. You going to hell. You better do something, bro. You better change your life, bro, or else I'm gonna shake you in the forehead with a fork, bro.
You know, man, you're gonna have to shake me in the fork in the forehead.
Don't be
my life. Oh shit!
You didn't know ghosts could stab, did you? Did you?
Oh, I'm bleeding! Holy shit!
All right, guys, thank you for joining us for this Triple H's Bad Booker. Join us over on the main channel for some news. And see,
JC and
peace out.